Kona users mainly complained about two problems. One of them was the narrowness of the back seat, and the other was the lack of cargo space. According to Sang-Yup Lee, the company's vice president of design, you wouldn't be surprised to see both areas addressed with the new version. It's more of a gentle evolution of a successful formula than a radical transformation. The new 2024 Kona is up to 6.9 inches longer than the previous version and sits on a 2.4 inches increased wheelbase. Inside, there's a new design of slimmed-down front seats that offer the same level of comfort and support as the old car, but are 30% thinner, which is claimed to improve rear legroom. Having sat in an early version of the 2024 car, we can confirm that it's wider in the rear. In Hyundai's count, trunk capacity has increased from 13 cubic feet to 17 cubic feet with the rear seats in place. The most obvious design difference for the new generation is the arrival of a single full-width light strip at the front and a similar red taillight graphic at the rear. Sang-Yup Lee said this new element is the single most complex feature of the car. It certainly gives the front a very futuristic look, something we feel we've seen on at least one character in a Star Wars movie. The actual headlights are smaller units lowered and mounted on each side of the bumper. As before, both gas and electric versions of the Kona will be offered. Other parts of the world will also get the hybrid, but we're told there's no chance of that version coming to the US. The most obvious visual difference between the EV and the regular combustion version will be that the gas-powered cars get gray bodywork, while the Kona Electric is body-colored. This rule isn't hard and fast, though, not a flashy performance derivative, but a trim level. The N-Line will also feature a lovely two-piece, while retaining body color, rear spoiler and a larger opening on its front bumper. Nicer interior. Interior design also feels substantially upgraded over the outgoing car. The new Kona gets dual 12.3 inches display screens, the one ahead of the driver displaying instrumentation and the central touchscreen handling infotainment functions. Despite that, Hyundai hasn't followed the herd into digital-only control architecture, with the Kona keeping both a row of function shortcut buttons and physical climate controls below these. We're told the company isn't planning to replace conventional buttons in any of its forthcoming models, either, which is a plus in our book. The Kona Electric also benefits from a flat floor in the cabin, although the combustion versions continue to have a compact tunnel. We don't have finalized US specifications yet, but anticipate lots of optional equipment in the pricier versions. The European spec cars we saw had power front seats with both heating and ventilation plus a 360-degree camera system. All versions will support over-the-air software updates, and Hyundai is also planning to allow it to be locked and unlocked through the NFC near-field communication function on smartphones and smartwatches. All versions of the new Kona get a compact gearshift selector on the side of the steering column, with steering wheel paddles to allow gear selection in combustion versions, and varying regeneration levels in the EV. Hyundai was keener to talk about the new Kona Electric than its gasoline sisters. That's because the combustion versions are going to be substantially similar to the outgoing version, with the choice of a basic 2-liter engine and a more powerful turbocharged 1.6-liter above this. Both front drive and all-wheel drive will continue to be offered, but we will need to wait until close to the car's formal unveiling at the New York Auto Show in April for finalized performance figures. We do have more numbers for the Kona Electric, though. In some markets, Hyundai plans to offer 2 different versions of the EV, but we're told to expect that only the more potent version will reach the US, with its 65.4 kilowatt-hour battery pack and a single front motor that produces 214 horsepower. In Europe, Hyundai is targeting a WLTP range of more than 305 miles. That would likely translate to an EPA rating of somewhere closer to 260 miles. The Electric's charging port is at the front and, although it won't be able to replenish as quickly as the ultra-fast 800-volt architecture of the Ioniq 5, Hyundai says it will be possible to go from 10% to 80% charge in 41 minutes at the highest rate. That equates to an average rate of around 75 kilowatt from a DC charger, or roughly half what the Ioniq 5 or Kia EV6 can do. The Kona Electric will also support vehicle-to-load charging, basically allowing it to serve as a giant power pack. While there are no immediate plans to directly replace the Kona N, Hyundai admits that it may produce a more powerful EV version with all-wheel drive from a second motor at the rear. The company's engineers admit that this car would seem ideally suited to carry N branding. Here's hoping that happens, as the prospect of a 430 horsepower Kona is an intriguing one. The new Kona will be launched in the US in the third quarter of the year, with pricing details to follow.